Now, a fish and chip shop owner says he's struggling to hire any employees because, according to him, the benefits system is making people too work-shy. The owner of Horton Chippy in Darlington claims they had 300 to 400 applicants for jobs, but of those who secured interviews, only 10 to 15% actually turned up for the interview. And then, more shockingly, 14 people in a row failed to turn up for their first shift. So, the poor man is trying to run a business, he's got the work there, here it is, they get an interview, they don't even bother to come in. What's going wrong?
Well, I think it's... because obviously when you have job seekers allowance, it's on the basis that you are seeking a job. So what they do is they apply for jobs to show that they're looking, but then when they actually get the job, particularly if it's a minimum wage job, they're going to end up being worse off than they are on the job seekers allowance. Now, nobody wants to work and be worse off, so it's a skewed system. And what I would say is I don't understand why they don't just say, OK, if you get a job and the pay isn't very good, we will just deduct the amount that you earn in that job from your job seekers allowance. You're in the system, you're getting a work ethic, you're in the system, because then when an employer looks at a CV, if they see 10 years on benefits, they go, oh, does that mean they don't turn up? Does that mean they're work shy? Whereas if they see that you've worked in a chip shop for 2 years, for example, they go,
turned
OK,
up every day on
turned
time
up, reliable, you know, good employee, and you then start to work your way up the ladder.
Yeah. I think there's a problem with people with attitude. There's a couple of problems here. Unrealistic expectations of what kind of job they're going to be getting, unrealistic expectations of what work is actually like it's boring. A lot of these jobs are really boring and repetitive, and people leave school without the realistic idea of what work is going to be like. And they imagine that they can go and start photographing people and being on, you know, building social media.
Being Brooklyn Beckham.
I do think and I hate to make sweeping generalisations, but I just get that feeling that a lot of young people, they've got this great sense of entitlement of what they should be doing when they start work. And they don't really want to go, oh, I'd have to be there at 9 o'clock. It's a bit early.
I know, my friends...
have to go every day.
Well, this goes right through their 20s, because my friend's sons are, you know, about 26 or 27, and they've only ever done jobs like working in... They've both got degrees, one in politics, one in engineering. Once they say, oh, working in a bar, so noisy. Oh, delivering food, so boring. You know, and you just think, well, what? Those are the jobs that are out there.
We have boring jobs when we were young.
I mean, I do think there are some people with that attitude, but I do think the vast majority of young people, it's just that thing of, you know, there is a lot of hardship out there, and if you're going to go to work every single day and end up financially worse off and not be able to pay your bills, it doesn't make sense. So I do think the system is wrong.
But Jane, at the same time, I remember when I left university, it was in a recession and there were no jobs going on. So just to get myself into a working environment, and my parents had no money, so I had to really fend for myself. But I wanted to get out.
But you probably had a supportive environment. You had a house to live in with your parents. You know, a lot of young people don't even have that.
No, they don't, but I kind of worked in factories to save up money so that I could...
But you weren't paying your own rent?
Well, I was paying my own rent, but I'd saved up because I had no work, but
so you weren't living at home?
No, I wasn't living at home.
Oh, to go to uni, you paid your own rent?
Yeah, but after I graduated from university, it was the recession, and I'd saved up my money. I didn't go on holiday till I was 21 years old, so there was no work. So I was a qualified town planner, so I wrote to the council to say, look, I know you can't pay me, but I'm going to do voluntary work, because I wanted to get that foot in the ladder that you're talking about, and to say, right, I'm in work, this is what an office works like, these are the processes, etc., etc. But it's kind of like you have to do that. If you want to work and progress, you have to do sometimes things for free, things that are underpaid.
Things that are boring.
Things that are a bit boring.
Did you see the story at the weekend of the young man who lives... he lives on an estate, like a, you know, socially deprived area in East London, and he just got a train to Kensington, and he thought, well, that's a nice house. And he just knocked on their door and he said, how did you get the money to buy this house? And I think he did 2 or 3 doors, you know, quite a few people told him to go away. But then this couple, the guy's in banking and his wife, they invited him in, they had a chat. And anyway, it evolved in kind of like a mentoring situation. They didn't get him a job, they just taught him how to get a job, and he's now working and he's really happy.
But being in work is a good thing mentally and socially.
Yeah,
and
but there's no doubt the universal credit and the allowances now, Jane's got a really, really good point. They are just too complicated, too bureaucratic, and too many people can't cope with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, Amber Rudd has only just been appointed to the job of running the Department of Work and Pensions, and she's already said, like 2 days into the job, we need big injection.
Well, even
of
just when we
cash.
knew we were talking about this morning, and I said, I don't really know enough about job seekers allowance and universal credit. Oh my goodness, trying to understand it.
You need an ology.
I mean, basically,
it
doesn't pay for some people to work.
No, which is wrong.
Which is wrong, absolutely. That's not what the benefit system's there for, is it?